Now, from a startup viewpoint, this is very important. Yes, it's an exciting time for India. As Mr. GV said, India is at an opportunity is at a point where any product and any service has a market. We are large enough. We have 140 million people. Even if you leave aside the fact that we have great inequality in our country, we have 200 million people who are consumers of sorts. So there's a market for everything. But how are you different? Three basic things that I look at, even when I discuss with startups. Three basic things. One is, what is your idea? How is your idea different from everything in the market? This is fundamental point. Yes, you can also be a me too, but what we look at is, how is your idea original? Is it just copying what somebody else is doing, or is it original? Secondly, have you done a benchmark with other countries? So is there somebody else who is offering the technology? How is that different? Is it in the product? Is it in the delivery mechanism? Whatever it is. How are you placed vis-a-vis a global benchmark? And the third thing which is important for startups is the challenge of scaling. And scaling is a significant challenge because when you have an idea and you start a business, you're an entrepreneur, but you have to become a manager when you scale. And it's a different skill set. Being a manager is a different skill set from being an entrepreneur. You have to find a way of actually marrying the two. An entrepreneur takes more risk. A manager is supposed to manage risk. So these are some of the things that you have to bear in mind. Now, running a company, and I'm now in the fourth generation, and the fifth generation just around the corner. When you run a company, the other thing is you need to have new products, you need to have new markets, and we have always looked at exporting our products. I think TVS started exporting manufactured products in the 60s. I think 1967 is when we first started exporting. Why do we export? The markets are difficult. We exported products in the last century to countries like Japan, Korea, and they were disasters. But why do we do it? It's because if you find a very difficult customer and you're able to service them, you can service everybody. Some of the most difficult customers technically for us have been the Indian defense, because those were days when even the metallurgy had to be made from scratch. But we found that if you find customers and you can service them well, your capabilities improve. And when your capabilities improve, it differentiates you from other people. So you take on difficult challenges so that you can actually have a capability which is beyond what everybody else has. And difficult customers actually do that to you. Our most important customers are not our largest customers. They are also important. But our most important customers for us are the customers who actually improve our capabilities. That invariably means that when it's happening, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. But you learn from going through these experiences. You learn from mistakes. There are innumerable mistakes which have been done. Sometimes we have not closed companies, but we have definitely got out of businesses that we felt were no longer relevant. But we try to do it in a manner where the people who are there in the business are not affected. Employees, essentially. We try to take care of employees when we do it. The point I'm trying to make here is when you're an entrepreneur, you have to take risks. And you take risks, you will make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, there's nothing wrong. You actually learn a lot, provided you don't bet your entire house on that thing, then it becomes a bigger challenge. But mistakes are part of what every organization goes through. it is part and parcel of how organizations grow. The challenge that we have is in the current day is actually that there is a sense that people feel if you make a mistake, you don't succeed, then it's seen as a failure. India tends to be less forgiving than, say, the West. If you go to the US or something like that, there are a number of people who've had failures, including the current president, from a business perspective. So the people have failures and they just go forward again. As an entrepreneur, you need to be slightly thick-skinned and bear in mind that you need to take risks, and these risks give you opportunities moving forward. India is in a great position. Demographic dividend is something which people have been talking about for ages, honestly, the last 10, 15 years. But currently, we are in a spot where very few countries in the world actually have young people who are talented, who have capabilities. Even in countries like Germany, which is considered an engineering giant, they actually say that we wish we had people like what India has, young students who can join us. And they, of course, curse their government because of the immigration policies and because it's very difficult for Indians to join Germany. Germany takes, I think, 20,000 students a year. To give you an example, Australia, which is not really a manufacturing giant or even industrial giant, takes 90,000 students, mainly because of English. But the opportunities of serving the world from India are there today. There's an acceptance of India as being a country which can service global markets, largely due to the IT sector having established this over the late 90s and the early 2000s. But today, if you're manufacturing a product or giving a service from India, it is something that all corporate boards are open to. As a matter of fact, in the manufacturing field, which I come from, about 15 years back, all boards used to talk about China strategy. Today, they all talk about India strategy. And India not just as a market, but India as a way in which they can enhance value for their shareholders. So I'd like to once again congratulate all the awardees, and I'd like to tell the students that you're in an opportune time. We have a 10-year cycle in my mind, a 10-year cycle in which we can actually do a significant amount of work, start new enterprises or join enterprises which you feel are adding value. There's a great opportunity for us to add value and grow over the next 10 years. And I think it's a great time to be in India. I'd like to again congratulate all the awardees and thank you very much for having me here.